studies with which Washington remains enamored, which place Southeast Asia firmly in an East Asia and Pacific realm, while in fact this region is part of an organic continuum that is more properly labeled the Indo-Pacific, whose maritime heart is the South China Sea. For Champa represents a seafaring, piratical race, squeezed between the Central Highlands and the sea, with numerous rivers and natural harbors at their disposal, with woods, spices, textiles, honey, wax, and metals to trade. The Chams were well placed to benefit from the commerce between the Indian Ocean and the Western Pacific. The French had it right when they designated this region not Southeast Asia, but Indo-China. Witness the medieval Chola Empire of the Hindu Tamils, based in southern India, which sent its fleets throughout this seaboard as far north as China, even as ancient Chinese pottery has been found as far south as Java, and Chinese ships under the medieval Tang and Yuan dynasties ventured as far as Odisha in northeastern India. Long before the North and South Vietnams of the Cold War era, there were northern and southern Vietnams that had existed across this civilizational fault line and across the chasm of the centuries between antiquity and modern times. Dai Viet being a young and insecure kingdom in the north, after having been a province of the Chinese Empire for over 1,000 years, while to the south lay the Khmer Empire and Champa. Champa, in particular, was the enemy of Dai Viet, preventing the latter's expansion to the south, until Champa was finally reduced to near ashes by the majority kin in the north, and an underlying sense of guilt felt by northern Vietnam toward southern Vietnam ever since. Champa, as the historical and cultural representation of southern Vietnam, was always more closely connected to the Khmer and Malay worlds than to Sinicized Dai Viet to the north. In the 17th and 18th centuries there were, again, effectively two Vietnams, Tonkin in the north, ruled by the Lê dynasty, and Cochin China in the south, ruled by the Nguyen dynasty. All this ultimately because Vietnam's nearly 1,000-mile-long coast lay astride two great civilizations, those of India and China. Champa entered my consciousness through an illustrated book I had come upon in a shop in Hanoi years back, The Art of Champa, by Jean-François Hubert. Because of its beauty, it was a volume I instantly wanted to own. Champa, writes Hubert, exists in defiance of time. Its legacy rescued by French archaeologists from the École Française d'Extrême-Orient in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, who studied and excavated at Misson and other sites, providing concrete evidence of what is only written about in the Chinese dynastic annals and embassy reports. Hubert's text, as elegant as the accompanying photography, exposed me to this Sanskrit culture, with its delicious Hindu-Buddhist syncretism, though weighted heavily in favor of Hinduism. In the 8th century, says Hubert, Champa stretched from the Gate of Annam in the north to the Donai Basin in the south, that is, from just north of the former demilitarized zone, DMZ, southward to Saigon. So Hubert's medieval map suggests a Cold War one. After a grand guignol of wars and invasions, the wages of being located on a civilizational fault line, Hindu Champa finally disappeared under the shadow of the Viets. Vietnam, as we think of it, was thus created, even though it is the legacy of this conquered Hindu world that provides Vietnam with its uniquely non-Chinese cultural identity. Hubert's book led me to Da Nang, near the old DMZ, the busiest airbase during the Vietnam War. That world is dead, buried under the reality of American-style gated communities, celebrity-brand golf courses, and half-finished five-star resorts and casino complexes that fly the American flag at their entrances stretched along China Beach south of the city. There are eco-retreats, too. The GI's jungly hell has become a backpacker's paradise. The country that